sort of starts with like the first line, "In this proud land we grew up strong," like a narrator in a theatre. It's theatrical, and or like the beginning of 300, like, "In this proud land we grew up strong."
It's a bit entitled, actually. It's like this, I was taught to fight, taught to win, never thought I could fail. How we've all been educated about how great the British Empire is, how great we won World War II.
Yeah, entitled. Yeah, he sounds like a statesman or something, like addressing his people at the beginning, like some Caesar or like a politician or something. But then it stops being like that, and it's like more like about unemployment. But then, like the third or second verse, he's talking about like the trees all being burnt by the lake.
That's when it gets really serious, and it's like because before that, it's a bit of a commentary on the state of things. But then I think this has been wrongly understood as like a working class kind of unemployment cry for help.
God, really?
But the lyrics don't actually kind of say that, because when he says about going back and the trees are burnt, it's like he goes to his lakeside house. It's like no working class guy is going to have a lakeside house.
Actually, I'm imagining Lake Geneva or something, and he's coming back and the Nazis have all burnt his house. He's trying to be expansive and like vague and it sort of works, but it never really gets working class gritty. I mean, like the words are obviously like, "So many men no one needs."
Yeah, I mean that could refer to working class.
Yeah,
but the rest sort of doesn't really.
Is it going to chime with the working class, or is it really more like it's like for a middle class sort of 80s audience of couples having problems?
Yeah, he's battling depression more.
I think so. Depression core, it is basically.
It's high fidelity melancholy, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I've been looking at his face quite a lot, Gabriel's face. He's so sad looking, but he has naturally like a kind of downturned mouth. So I don't know if that's part of it. And he kind of has this like reluctant star aura about him. He talks well, and he's calm and he's polite, and maybe doesn't like to do all these interviews, even though he's done a hell of a lot, because he's all over the place. I can find so many.
I feel like there's something missing there in Gabriel's. Like, he just does this like Jedi mind trick on you, just like, don't look at me too much, like don't investigate too deeply, because I mean all his music's so produced. It's because it's like sort of covering up maybe for there's not a rawness to it.
There's definitely a roar though, like ROAR. I mean, he roars a lot because he's into all his in the middle, he's into all his self-discovery kind of psychotherapy and new age human potential movement kind of stuff. He'd do the sensory deprivation tanks. He'd do the large group awareness training. Jeez. And he did couples therapy with his wife, where he'd be in like kind of small groups talking about their relationships, with other couples and stuff. I mean, I think he's kind of experimented in different new age kind of techniques of uncovering what's, maybe his emotional problems. Later on, if you look at him now, he looks totally radiant and looks totally like happy and like he's always smiling. And so I don't know if there's just because I think he might have been going through his divorce around this time. So maybe it's just all that kind of stuff that was.
Yeah, there's definitely some divorce in this song as well. I mean, either lost your job or your wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also got like this parental, familial sort of vibe as well with Kate as well, because it seems like they're a couple, and but they're not talking. They're talking to each other, but they're like talking to the masses. Like it's like the queen and king.
So they are. They're not talking directly to each other. Well, he doesn't talk to her at all. He's talking. It's like he's writing his diary, or he's writing his like kind of poetry about him as the center of this great world. But like she's talking directly to it. Like
he's not listening.
He's not listening, and then he goes on. And then he moves to another town and just kind of moans about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, there's some. It's quite confusing, this song actually, because the chorus is "Don't give up." Seems quite sort of like a different song to the verses,
because everything kind of cuts out.
Well, yeah, the warm pads come in. So it sort of seems to add. It adds and takes away at the same time. A good little trick. The production is good. I always remembered it having like sort of Orientalist Korg M1 sort of like percussion sort of bits. But then when I listened to it, it was like, it's all that fretless bass.
There's the fretless highlights in the chorus, like that kind of respond to Kate Bush, kind of groan in the background, like But I suppose a him, because like she's trying to give him some kind of support, but he just doesn't. He's just not listening.
He's not listening. He's fucking wanking over his fretless. And then I never remembered like the whole middle bit.
Oh, the gospel bit.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Like
I had no idea about that bit either. No. Where he's shouting and she's nearly recoiling, like from how loudly he's singing. She's almost like she's a bit sick of reassuring him, because she knows he's not going to listen. As soon as she stops, he's like talking about suicide.
I'm trying to cheer you up here. Fucking listen. God's sake. Oh, shut up. Going on and on. I mean, my memories of this song are not that gospel bit at all. Like, my memories are sort of going, oh, that is quite pensive and like all moody. And,
very moody.
Very serious and very real.
Oh, let's go back to the beginning, because the beginning is like, it sets the scene, and it's like, it's really nice, that bass, that doom, 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 doom. I felt like it was a warmer Joy Division or something. It has that kind of, that atmospheric, and it has the polysynth pipes kind of going.
Exactly.
It's really nice.
Yeah, really
and the guitar kind of as a counterpoint to the pipes. So they're kind of like weaving a little atmosphere. Shit, and then the chord changes, and that's when you kind of you think, oh right, there's a song coming, because it could have just
like it changes to a minor maybe.
And also, what's strange about that bass is like the little pattern, the doom 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 on that last kind of doom. There's like a perfect fifth or something, like kind of like how you play a power chord with the
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's definitely playing some chords on the bass, or whoever's playing the bass.
It's really nice and interesting.
Yeah, it fills the space very nicely. And I think there is a sort of percussive sequence kind of just underneath it, giving it some click.
Yeah, but what is it? I can't really hear what it is.
No, I feel like it's an M1 sort of like Oriental sound or something.
Well, he was like really big into his Fairlight CMI, his the kind of first digital audio workstation was this Fairlight thing, wasn't it? Where it had like a TV screen, and you could and it had a light pen, then you could draw over the screen to do your kind of waves of how you wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he was like the first person in Britain to have one, and then he nearly went into business selling them.
And then he thought, actually, maybe I would make a song with them instead. But the panpipes thing, I was like, this panpipe shit keeps cropping up like all over the middle of the 80s.
It's the Simps. It's the Simps. Like,
it's the Simps. Yeah. It's in like Bros. It's in the Riddle, Ian Kershaw, I Owe You Nothing, Bros. Feed the World obviously has the panpipe bit at the end. And it sort of like sounds militaristic.
Is it in Sledgehammer as well? Or is that a bamboo flute? That might be a bamboo flute. You know the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not quite pipe, but it's the flute. Yeah.
Well, it's a flute. I mean, you're pretty close.
Yeah, but I don't think you can go on some panpipes unless you're fucking amazing. Or you have a synthesizer with the sounds on it.
Oh yeah, with a light pen to draw it.
And a fucking light pen, Jesus Christ. But yeah, like this panpipism all over that era, and it sort of like does this thing. Yes, we are here, like marching.
Well, it kind of it goes with the folk ballad kind of structure of the song as well.
Yeah.
So maybe when he wrote it, it was like, oh, this makes me think of these kind of sounds, but
it's never used in folk in the same way. Like it's used in these kind of 80s songs, like as a very kind of call to armsy sort of like stand up and be counted kind of.
Oh, is that a panpipe?
I think so. It sounds pipey. I mean, it might not be panpipes all the time, but it's pipes. Definite pipes.
Maybe it's bagpipes.
I don't think so.
Get Simple Minds to bagpipe. They're Scottish.
I feel like there's like a sort of Soviet thing about this song. I always thought like there was.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
I know what it is. It's his jacket.
Is it?
They're obviously cold because they're unemployed. There is some in the video. There's some funny like hints at the unemployed. Like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow that's like barely visible. He's got this huge jacket on that looks a bit wrong sized. Kind of, it's like he'll never wear anything. They can't afford new clothes. She's wearing like a kind of khaki work shirt, like she's been working in the factory.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you're getting the Soviet thing from.
Right, but I haven't watched the video, not lately anyway.
But you've not watched the video?
No, I can't remember the video, but I just feel, but maybe I did obviously see it when it came out in 1986.
Okay, well, it's one shot.
Yeah.
It's the couple in an embrace. His head's above her head because she's chest. And they spin round, so they must be on a turntable. And
what?
So you see
turntable.
Yeah, a tiny little
just about
balancing on.
Yeah.
So he's in shot when he's singing, and then it turns, and then her face will be in shot when she does the chorus. And during the video, there's a sun behind. It gets eclipsed, it's like by the moon. Yeah, the moon comes across the sun just as the gospel bit hits the kind of the bit about the suicide. He's going to stand on that bridge and keep his eyes below, whatever may come and whatever may go.
Shit, I didn't bother listening to the lyrics in that bit because I just thought it was like, I heard the chords and I was like, oh, this is the happy bit, like everything's great.
Oh, really?
I'm totally wrong, obviously.
Well, it's the opposite, yeah.
Okay, so the moon is appropriate then.
Him being eclipsed, his life being snuffed out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I always like think of this song and I'm going, oh, that's one that, maybe if I was really depressed, going to kill myself, maybe I'd listen to that. But then I probably just would kill myself if I did listen to that at that point.
I doubt it, because you just want to hear that fretless bass things again.
True, I'd be like, oh, where those panpipes again? True, the panpipes would save me, yeah. But I don't believe he's actually desperate. This is the thing.
He's not, is he?
He's just musing. He's just like musing in quite a comfortable position.
Yes.
And he's getting a bit arty as well. Oh, some burnt trees next to a lake. Oh, yeah. It's more like the angst of a public school outsider. Not really, because there was quite a few other outsiders that he made music with and sold synths with later on. And yeah.
Sold synths too. I mean, he got Kate Bush into the Fairlight as well.
Okay, and Kate uses one in any tracks, does she?
She was the first one to have it recorded on a record to be released. So yeah,
really? And which one?
She was an early adopter. The album Never Forever in 1980, I think.
She's always got a bit of a mummy quality, hasn't she? And
even though she's so young,
like a nice young mummy, art teacher / mummy.
Yeah, even though she's only maybe 27, 28 during this.
Yeah, she's got like a old head on her shoulders, sort of.
But I wouldn't know I can't remember a young mummy.
Okay, I think I do remember a young mummy.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I remember young mummy and daddy. I do, because they were pretty young. But yours must have been pretty young too when they had you. Maybe not as young.
Maybe not as young. I was 30. I was
30 when you were born. When you were little.
I was a 30-year-old baby. When people ask what weight were you when you come out, I just say 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you don't remember a young mummy, but your mum remembers an old baby.
Old?
That's for sure.
We're the same age.
God.
Yeah. So well, she was 30. That's what I'm trying to say. So
okay.
I can't remember.
My mum was like 24
a young mummy
or something when I was born, so she would have been. Right. I would have remembered her age 28, let's say.
Yeah, so that's probably Kate's age. Like at this point, she's like what do you call it? A national treasure, and she's been around. She's been around for 10 years, and she's a national treasure. I mean, she had a Christmas special in like about 2 years into her career. And who does that? Who has that? Yeah. That's pretty fucking big impact, isn't it?
That is big impact.
To have like an hour or so show in like 1979, which is where she first duetted with Peter Gabriel, a Roy Harper song. Called Another Day.
Not heard that. Gonna listen, definitely.
And at this point, these two are like critical darlings.
Yeah.
Because these two guys go on to win Best British Male and Best British Female of the Brits this year.
Okay.
So they are like big favourites of the hierarchy.
Yeah, it's a very aspirational time, isn't it? So everyone's like, oh yeah, we love a bit of Gabriel and Bush, like even though... And they're talking sort of down to us, but we love it.
Before I looked into Gabriel, I was trying to just kind of think, well, I've got to think about what I think of him now before I listen to anything and before I read about anything of him. And my idea was like he was this Arts Council golden boy, that he would be given the money, like the hierarchy would just entrust it to him and say like, he'll get it done. It'll be great. Everyone loves that stuff. And the people he was doing it for on the receiving end would be like, oh, I don't really get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hence number 9 was its peak, not number 1. You know, it's kind of going for a number 2, number 1 sort of slot, maybe this.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's big, isn't it? It's like, this is a message to the people. This song's almost like too in love with itself, like to communicate a clear kind of direct message. And it sort of breathes like it's this direct thing, but actually it's not direct. It's kind of like, it's a bit of a cut and paste job. Yeah. In a way.
But I think it works just with those lines that Kate Bush sings.
Yeah,
I think
that's enough, isn't it?
That's enough. Anyone can put that to any situation, and it's and it's just there to kind of help you through difficult times.
To be fair, no one's fucking got no idea what he's going on about, and then it's like, oh, don't give up. Oh, hell yeah,
that's
probably
right.
Shouldn't give up. Actually, yeah, probably.
That's right.
So maybe I'll go into work tomorrow and I'll finish that wall.
Oh, but you're unemployed. You haven't got a job.
Yeah. Well,
but don't give up. Don't give up.
I'll go into the job centre tomorrow. Yeah.
No, you'll go to a different town.
Oh God, go to a different town.
Get to a different town.
Shit.
But don't go back to your lakeside home because
someone burned all the trees. Nazis have like scorched earth on that. Really? Nazis in fucking... Sorry. Oh, shit.
I did actually think that it might be like a Vietnam vet thing at first.
Ooh, didn't think that. But they're English, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But then I thought, well, he's probably maybe trying to break the American market at this point.
Yeah, get a bit of scorched earth in there for the Vietnam boys.
Yeah, a bit of
the vets.
But no, apparently it wasn't. Apparently it was about the Thatcher's reign of evil and all the unemployment.
It's so vague. I just don't think it even relates to that. I mean, whatever Gabriel says, I just think it supports Thatcher more than But it's not really a proper duet, really, is it? It's just like she just does the chorus. It just fit right on it. And it is... I would say it is. She has a big enough part. She's not just kind of singing along. She's kind of singing against him. There, it is a kind of a difference of opinion, Anyway, we should probably end this with a piece of information that this guy keeps cropping up on this the Brit Awards. Best album went to Dire Straits, of course, Brothers in Arms. Of course.
Didn't go to Gabriel. Didn't go to Bush. Went to where it belongs. And and do you know who won the outstanding contribution to music that year?
Phil Collins?
Eric Clapton.
Oh,
he's still with us.
He's still there. Good. He has to be in every episode. I mean,
he has to be there.
He's outstanding contribution to music, and he hasn't released Bad Love yet, but it's the ballad.
You Look Wonderful Tonight.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon that's what got it for him. I'm gonna bet on it.
Okay.
Is it? No.
Oh, that's
Gary Moore. That's fucking Gary.
Is it?
Yeah, forget it.
How on earth would you remember a Gary Moore song?
How can you forget them?
I think I know less about Gary Moore than Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, I think I know a bit more about Gary Moore because my guitar teacher was a massive Moorhead. I had to learn Parisienne Walkways, the classic. It's like this is the song, Parisienne. If you can play Parisienne Walkways, then you are in guitar heaven. And I was like, well, I really want to learn the solo in I'm the Resurrection, my Stone Roses. So, no, I will not teach that. Will not teach you that. No, will not. He just refused to teach me that solo. So I had to learn it myself, just as well.
The power of these teachers. I mean,
exactly.
Just like lording it over you and saying, like, no, you must do it like this. This is the classics.
Brainwashing. You know, this is what's good. Don't listen to that bad new stuff.